Hey, I'm going to be going over some of the Joy-Con grips that I've used with the Switch. I'm going to let you know how they compare with each other, which ones I like for depending on what the situation is. First up, I'm going to go with the first 3D printed grip that I made. It was just a pretty simple one that I found on Thingiverse and decided to print off to see how well it worked. So I had it for a couple years and it actually did break after about a year and a half. So I glued it back together. I don't really use it that often anymore, but it's pretty simple. Joy-Cons just go on each side just like a normal grip, but it gives you this sort of V-shaped grip. I actually don't like it that much anymore because you really have to have big hands for this to be comfortable because there's just a lot of thickness here for you to grip around. It did work well while I had it, just for playing games on the go. I just would just keep it in my Switch case, but it did end up taking a lot of room, and I think that's what broke it. I think something got beside it, and just too much pressure got put on, and it snapped. But it was pretty good while I used it. Next, I have just the original grip. Um, this one, I mean, you pretty much all know how it feels. It just turns it into more of controller-like. Makes it more comfortable and gives you hand grips for your hands so you can actually hold it like a normal controller. This one's actually the charging grip. You can charge your Joy-Cons while you're docked into this. I actually don't like this one as much as I used to ever since I got this new one. This one, it just feels a little better. It adds triggers and bumpers, and the triggers just feel a lot better to me. And then the grip is also just better in my opinion. Has texture here for more grip. Just feels more like a real controller. And it also will charge the Joy-Cons, but you don't have to like plug it into like the top with a cord. It just has like this little dock that you set them in and it charges them whenever it's set in there. This one's one of my favorites if you just want more of a traditional controller. And it can also charge a second pair of Joy-Con. Next I have, it's another 3D printed one. It's a lot thinner than the first one I showed. So it makes it a lot easier to hold whenever you are actually playing with it. So the grip is a lot more comfortable. It has a nice design where your fingers can rest. The only thing I don't like about this one is the steep like angle here. It just is kind of uncomfortable, and it makes it really hard to use the right thumbstick. But if you're not using a game where you use the right thumbstick too much, it's not too bad. It's also really easy to just put in your bag and not worry about it anymore. Next, I have another 3D printed one. This one is probably the simplest and smallest of them all. I really just bring this one with me whenever I'm just going out or going to a friend's house and don't want to bring a full-size controller. Pretty much turns any Joy-Con into actually really comfortable, nice controller. The angle is, I think, the best out of all the ones that I've showed you so far. I actually really like them with these GameCube Joy-Cons for if I'm just going somewhere and don't want to bring a GameCube controller with me, because they are pretty big and kind of hard to find room in a bag for. It's probably the best 3D printed one, and actually is really comfortable with having no grips here. I don't know, just the Joy-Con just feel good, like normal handles to a controller. Again, it does make the right joystick slightly harder, but definitely not near as bad as any of the other ones. This one is one of my favorites for sure. So I figured I'd just mention this one. It's actually just like a regular grip with the handles taken off of it. So just makes it just a slab basically to hold on to. It's not bad, but it's definitely not comfortable because you have nothing to really grip onto. But it does make it easy to just stick an extra pair of Joy-Cons in your bag. But I mean, if you're gonna do something like that, this one's much better. It's another 3D printed one. It's really just a thin rail to put them on. Makes it so it's an even smaller slab. I actually really use this for one-handed play, for when I'm playing games that are like turn-based games or something like that. You can reach every button with one hand, except for these ones are kind of harder. And this one's even better for just putting a set of Joy-Con in a bag because it takes up a lot less room. And I guess the last grip that I have to show off is it's the Bionic. It's like a charge grip, so you can put the Joy-Cons on and it'll charge it because it's a battery bank. So that there it tells you that it's charging. I believe if you hit this, it tells you how much battery it has left. And you can plug a USB-C in to charge the Switch itself. I don't think it charges the Switch a whole lot, but it's actually not bad, especially with these GameCube ones, because they give it a little grip. With the regular ones, it's a little worse because there's just nothing for your palm to rest onto with the regular Joy-Cons. It's just a problem with them, but this is a good option if you need to charge some dead Joy-Cons in your Switch. So there you are. There's some of the Joy-Con grips that I've had experiences with. Mostly good, some of them not so good. Like, I wouldn't recommend this one anymore. It's pretty bulky and it's easier to break, but the rest of them, they're all pretty good. Good uses for different situations. If there's anything else you want me to go over more, just let me know. Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, give it a like, comment, and subscribe.